All right, guys, so I said that I didn't have anything to clean, but it dawned on me before that production of that video, and 2 days after that, I was going to do a rifle class. So I figured let's hold off on this video, do the class, and then I will show you cleaning an AR-15 with it. One of the things that sold me on this product originally is it was in the back of a gun shop, and we were taking apart a rental gun that was used and abused. It was an AR, and you guys know that shoot ARs, that's a lot of carbon is built up, especially in that bolt. And so using this for the first time, that's what really got me to go, wow, this is really good stuff. So let's take a look up close. I'm gonna wear some white rubber gloves so it's be easy to see, a little contrast for you guys. And let's see how it works.
Go ahead.
All right, so we have I was running the Saint. By the way, this is the Strike Eagle by OpMod, so if you're interested in that product, we have a review on that as well coming out. But let's take this bad boy apart and clean it up. So this has got a couple hundred rounds through it. I'd say about 500, okay? One of the things that's actually very impressive that you'll notice here is that any carbon that I do have, I can just wipe it right off. And that's one of the really selling points of this product is that if you use it, especially as almost like a protectant, it makes cleaning so much better. This is not a nickel boron, this is a nickel boron coated fire control group, but not a nickel boron bolt carrier group. So that combined with that Cleansol that's on there, the carbon really just, any kind of soot or anything just wipes right off of there. So let's get in the bolt carrier group where it's really messy and see what we got.
Okay, I can see you now. You want to see you or just the glove?
Just this area here. Okay.
You're good.
And so the doctor is in the house. All right, so let's take a look at our bolt carrier group here. There is our firing pin. So not too terribly bad, but you can see just by all the water and the Cleansol, this was a really wet, rainy class, and so I was very impressed to see how much that Cleansol just stayed kind of to the steel itself. You can just see this is just basically wiping off. It's pretty incredible. Pretty impressed with that. Well, let's keep going here. All right, let's see what we got here. So the main culprit for ARs, as you guys know, right in here. So let's start to let's use the foamer. So shake this up a little bit here, and we'll use the foamer and just let it sit on there. Coat this whole thing. Why not? Okay. Since we already got our charging handle, let's throw some on there. Whoops. Okay, let that work in there. Get this firing pin good and coated. Pivot pin. This bolt, like I said, it's just a regular phosphate bolt, nothing too fancy. Standard from Springfield. Really, really high quality product though. Really happy with the Saint and also the Saint pistol, but I digress. So we're going to let that soak for just a minute or two. As you guys know from earlier in the video, there's a bunch of different applicators. So if you wanted to, if there was some small spring or something that you needed to lubricate, that little needle point is really good for that. Just done a couple ways to apply it. So one thing that I found, if you guys ever get a really bad, maybe you bought it or whatever, or you haven't cleaned your bolt for a long time, and you get a lot of that crappy carbon built up there, take a rubber glove, cut it at the finger, okay, fill it up with some Cleansol, and then rubber band it, and let it sit for a couple hours, overnight, whatever you want, and then the next day or a couple hours later, you're going to find that this stuff is going to wipe right off, okay? In our case here, it's only been a few minutes. Again, like I said, it's 500 rounds, not the end of the world. And it's a fairly new gun. So we're just going to take our brush here, wipe it down good. So here's the area we really want to focus on. All right. That's where a lot of that carbon builds up. And honestly, it's almost pointless. There's just, the stuff really just wipes right off. And I think that's a testament to having the product on there before we even started shooting. That really makes a big difference as far as how much it wipes off and keeps that buildup down. You can see how shiny those gas rings are. Really looks almost new. Let's take a look. We'll come back to that. Here's our bolt. Not our bolt. I'm sorry, our firing pin. I'm going to hit this real quick. And I'm just using the brass wire brush. Hardly any pressure at all. All right, let's see what we got here. Wipe this down. I mean, that is impressive. I mean, take a look close up on this here. Hold on, let me put my hand here. That is like brand new. Shiny. That's pretty impressive. Charging handle, not much there. Again, it was pre-lubed with this, so this is just a start. This is probably the weakest part of the Saint itself. Not that it's bad, it's just the standard charging handle. And I always like to upgrade those, but I wanted to run the gun as it is out of the box just to get my impressions of it. Okay. Take a look at this bolt now. And you can see the crud and the carbon wiping right off. I wish you could feel that because it just feels smooth. There's not a lot of that rough carbon buildup on there. Okay. So looks really good. Minimal carbon of any kind on there. We could really keep scrubbing if we really wanted to, but that's more than sufficient. Everything else, I mean, it's almost hard to even hold on. They're just so slippery. The lubricity of this product, I think, is one of the, I'm no scientist, but I think that's one of the keys here. It really puts a nice film on there and just helps wipe everything off. I mean, a couple of uses of this and it makes a big difference. So get a close up here.
Okay.
I mean, you can see we got the carbon off here. Inside there, that is just clean and shiny. I know the light probably doesn't pick up too well on the camera, but that's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So. So guys, one little tip here, I guess this is kind of going beyond just a cleaning video, but one little tip is I don't really lubricate anything inside the trigger mechanism per se. All we want is a nice dry springs in there. Anywhere we put oils and stuff, it's going to collect carbon, build up no matter whose it is, and then we got to go inside and clean that. So I like to keep it as dry as possible. What you saw on the hammer obviously is just the interface with the bolt. But other than that, typically I don't really get in there. Maybe you dropped it in salt water or something like that. But just for regular use, even in the rain, I don't really mess around with the springs too much inside there to keep that clean and dry. Same thing with the buffer tube. I don't really do anything with that as well. All right, so now we got a couple ways we can lubricate this and put this back together. We can use any type of the spray products, or you could use the foamer again, I guess, if you wanted. But you can also use the field wipes too. That's a little convenient way to do that. Like I said, become my favorite product. Cleanse oil does make a grease, by the way, and I've always been a big fan of grease. Maybe I'll get a hold of some of that and give that a try. But so far is what we got. So spray this up, put a little on there. Okay. Give it a little lubrication. You know, as you guys know, ARs generally run pretty wet. The only thing I don't really lubricate is the firing pin, just my personal preference. There's 100 ways to do this, and people are always going to have their own ways, and that's cool. This is just my way. Okay. So we're going to put our pivot pin back in.